So I have this validate CSV Python script that I wrote with the aid of LM Studio running DeepSeek R1 locally entirely on my Mac, and I basically want to enhance it. Okay, so given the following Python script, please modify it to print out all errors rather than exiting upon finding an issue with the input file. Now what I want it to do is, within this new framework of appending errors to a list, I want to add another validation case. And this new case is to check to ensure we're not providing a duplicate key within the CSV file. And currently we are. And so I want the LLM to write that for me. Let's give it a shot. Please add another validation case to check to ensure that each value of key in the file is distinct. And it failed. And so it'll do this after some amount of time with a chat. Unfortunately, it can't go on for too long.
Jack.
That's what I suspect happened, unfortunately, in this case. This is great, so I'm gonna copy this. Given the following Python file, please check to ensure each value of key in the file is distinct. Scene key set to keep track of all keys encountered as it reads through each row. Before adding a new key to this set, the script checks if key is already present. If so, it adds an error message for the duplicate key. This ensures that all values of key in the file are distinct. Nice.
Nice.
Awesome. Along with the row. That's perfect. This is exactly what I had in mind. Perfect. Perfect.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
So
what are you
assuming
talking
this
about,
will
man?
work. This will run just fine without issue. Row 4 has a duplicate key. Let me change it to another. And then now it's valid. There we go. That simple. Okay, now that it's done this and things are looking great so far, I want it to do one last task for me, which is to convert this script into C#.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let's see how it deals with executing this arguably larger task in one go. Can you convert this script to C#? It can do it, no problemo.
I think we need to move Lonzo.
That ain't no problem.
Huh?
It's the coder version after all. V2, not V1, but V2. Sure, below is a conversion of your Python script to C#. It's so much more verbose, it's hilarious. Like what, 150, 200 lines of code? This C# script reads a CSV file, validates its contents according to the rules specified in your Python script, and outputs any validation errors to the console. Note that some methods like hasEdge whitespace and isSnakeCase are used directly for readability, but you might want to encapsulate them in utility classes or functions if this grows more complex. Interesting. Alright, let me try it out. Pasting over it, saving, and running. How do I run it with parameters? Program arguments, here we go. Apply and run. What the fuck, man? Oh, do I need to do this here instead? Runtime arguments? No. This is annoying. Okay. Yep, it needs args length of 1, so let's see if DeepSeek has an answer for this. How do I specify a command line argument to the C# program in JetBrains Rider? I'm not very confident in this guy's answer. Okay, run configuration dialog. Parameters in the run tab. I don't see parameters. I see program arguments or runtime arguments. Run. Oh, here we go. Run. Here we go. Edit configurations. So run with profiler. Oh, and I just got cut off here. Aha, there we go. I needed double quotes. That's what was up. An example error message. What the hell? Why is it saying an example error message? How stupid is that? Oh, get errors, return a list of errors, but for simplicity, we'll just use a local variable here. How stupid. Okay, I did not catch this. My bad. What the fuck? That's concerning because the output of this is different than the output of that. Oh, and it failed. Okay, need a rerun. Key changes, command line argument handling. Both scripts handle command line arguments similarly. Error logging and reporting. Errors are logged in a list and reported at the end of validation. The format matches the Python script output. White space checking has edge white space method is implemented to check for edge white space similar to the Python version. Snake case validation is snake case method checks if a string is in snake case matching the Python implementation. Nice. CSV header check. The CSV header is checked and logged correctly. Exception handling. Exception messages are added to the errors list for logging. This should ensure that the C# script produces output similar to the provided Python script. Okay, I hope so. Alright, nice. That increased my confidence on, but there's this stupid static list string thing. Get errors. Oh. Yeah, that's why. They're adding an example error, which is stupid. I mean, this seems a little sloppy to me, this get errors static list thing that it's doing here, but I don't fucking understand it. Validation failed. Okay. It's valid. Oh, is it not valid? No, it is valid. This isn't valid. Yeah, so the Python implementation says that this isn't valid, and the C# says that having a 2 after a string is not valid for a snake case, which is confusing. Okay, so the C# implementation is being far more finicky about the snake case condition. So we have a snake case here. Segments. There's probably a difference with how it implements the segmenting. Gotcha. We're gonna strip it first. And it failed. Damn it. Trying again. Damn, that's verbose. We've gotta trim the key and then do this. Okay, so key is being trimmed. Don't need to worry about this trim here. If it's null or empty, we're not checking for that, so why do we care? Let's do a split to get the segments. Yes, good. 2 lower. It's going to return all segments, which is an enumerable. Is lower or is digit. Oh man, this is confusing. It appears to not be considering numbers as part of the snake casing. Let's see. I'm deferring to the Python implementation, which says that this is in fact snake case, as the file is valid, and this one doesn't. This one says that that is not in snake case, which is stupid, and I wanted to fix that. To correct the issue where people profile entity profile settings row ATL weekends tag 2 is incorrectly identified as not being in snake case, we need to ensure that the validation's logic for checking if a string is in snake case is correctly implemented. The current implementation of isSnakeCase method seems to have an issue because it checks each segment individually, but does not account for the fact that segments are separated by underscores. Exactly. Here's the corrected version of the isSnakeCase function. Nice. Here we go.
Here we go!
Much better. This function should work correctly now, as it checks each part of the split string to ensure they are in lowercase. However, there might be other issues in the script that need to be addressed based on the full context of your application. The revised isValid method would then look like this. Nice. IsValid. Oh. IsValid goes down to here. Okay. Goes like this. Oh, that's weird. Snake case should look like this, right? I mean, it's already doing that now. Segments all, segment string, segment all. It looks to be doing the exact same thing. I don't think this is gonna work. This still doesn't work as expected. I think you need to consider the fact that the isLower built-in method may not be considering digits in the same way the Python counterpart does. Come on, LLM. Do this. Let's do it. I believe in you. You can do it. It's breaking. It's showing its cracks. We're hitting the boundaries.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through and I can't stop.
Of the LLM. It can get stuck on a problem quite a bit. Still pretty damn good. You are correct. Char is lower, only checks if a character is a lowercase letter. In Python, snake case strings can also include numbers and underscores, but we need to ensure that all the characters except the first one, which should be a letter, are either letters or digits. Here's how you can adjust the snake case method to account for this. Perfect. That's more like it. This updated method ensures that the first segment starts with a letter, and all subsequent segments contain only lowercase letters and digits. This should handle strings like people, profile, entity, profile, strings, row, ATL, weekends, tag 2 correctly, as it includes both letters and numbers without any uppercase letters or unexpected punctuation. Nice!
Nice.
Okay, nice. So this gave it a nudge in the right direction. I think this should fix it. Let's try this guy out for size. The file is valid! Yes! 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 Awesome. Okay, so now we can move on to undoing a bunch of stuff, introduce a bunch of errors. Okay, let's try this. And run it, and it finished. And there's 5 errors, that's it? I thought there was way more. Expected IT, yes you did. 3 doesn't have exactly 5 columns, it has 6. Yeah, there's a lot more issues with this one. Okay, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. Okay. This is sus to me. I don't like this. This might be the problem actually. Very good. In this updated version, the getErrors method now prints out all collected errors before returning them. This ensures that all validation errors are printed at once when the script finishes running. Nice. Nice. Exactly what I wanted from the very start. Was it really all that hard to understand me now? Cry? No. Still no working, no working, no working. Why are there so many static methods in the script? Is this normal C# coding practice? Can we only have the main method be static and have all other methods be derivative off of that? C# is a funny language, man. This is my very first exposure to it. So apologies, you seasoned C# experts.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
I don't know what the norm is. I know Python. I know a little bit of C from like back in college days, but it's been a while. And see, having a main method as static is not only normal but required by the language specification for console applications. Yeah, that makes sense. The entry point of a C# application must be a static method because the runtime needs to call it without creating an instance of the class containing the main method. Right, that makes sense. This is why your code has a static main method and other methods are also static. Here's an example where we refactor the validation logic into a separate class for better separation and testability. Okay, FileValidator, yeah. Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense to me. Nice, yeah, I think this should be better because you're not instantiating a new list of errors each time we're calling this method. Get errors. Yeah, perfect. In this refactored example, the FileValidator class encapsulates all validation logic, and the main method simply creates an instance of this class and calls its methods to perform the file validation. This separation makes the code more modular, easier to test, and maintainable. Nice, okay. Yes, much better. That's what I was looking for. Okay, now hopefully it'll work, but maybe not. Yes, okay. So there's like a bunch more errors, but it's not looping. Invalid country code for IT. Gotcha. Yeah, it's duplicating errors now. It's still not quite where we want it. So this video is over, but if you're interested in seeing a continuation of me taking a locally running DeepSeek R1 instance to its limit, stay tuned for the next and final video in the series where I take DeepSeek R1 to its breaking point while I attempt to get it to make improvements to this fairly simple CSV validator C# script. Thanks so much for watching.